Hello and welcome. You're viewing the Citizens Journalist podcast, Mesa County Compass, that brings you the news that you can use from a different point of view. I'm Ruth.
I'm Lisa.
And together we are Mesa County Compass. Our goal is to create an informed, current, active citizenry armed with the facts. We will be covering what's new to you, what it means to you, what you can do about it, and provide you access to the decision makers when we can. Okay, welcome to Mesa County Compass. This morning we are getting ready to ride the Grand Valley Transit with Scott Beilfuss, who is our city council, one of our city council people. We wanted to try this out and see what it was like because neither of us, Lisa or I, have ever been on a transit bus. And we wanted to talk to a few of the people that ride the bus.
Great.
And we wanted to kind of get a feel for what it's like on that side rather than the transportation in our own vehicles.
Right. And, kind of getting a feel for how frequently it goes, how far it goes, who it serves, who it doesn't serve, how quick it gets anywhere.
And how many people do actually ride the bus on a daily basis? We kind of thought it would be random to hit it now, and it would be something that would give us a real flavor of what's happening.
Right. I think, so during the free times, June, July, August, it bumps up a little bit, as you can imagine. And when you go back to school, it bumps up a little bit. I've been at a couple bus meetings just the last 2 days, and they sold like 850 student passes for District 51 for kids to take the bus because they've expanded, how far you live from the school to be able to get a bus from the school district. So it's up to 3 miles away. You have to be more than 3 miles away or have disability or something to get a bus. And 3 miles, as the crow flies, can be 5 miles.
That's right.
As you drive.
What I understood, though, just from reading the GVT, is that students, middle school and high school ride free. They don't have,
I don't
they
know
probably
if it's totally
need
free,
a
but
bus pass.
Probably if you're a free and reduced lunch, it's free. I'm not sure. It's pretty easy to find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, a lot of those kids that are far out, if they're close to a bus line, that'll be their way to get to school.
Well, and that does help with transportation for parents and bike.
Yeah, huge, because parents have weird work schedules. In fact, one of the things we talked about yesterday, I'm on a truancy committee with the school district as well. And the number one reason for truancies is because of transportation.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, it's a big issue. The buses would like the schools to
And here comes a
change
ride.
their...
2 rides. Sorry.
Yeah, that's 11 to 6. Would like the schools to change their start times a little bit to coincide more with the buses. And the schools say the same thing. I wish they would change their bus route, but the bus routes are built for workers. So they're gonna have to kind of keep those routes to get people to work.
Right.
Because that's what we're all about. Downtown.
Now there's Route
That's
1.
fun.
Well, we'll see who pulls up here.
Does it
Hopefully
change
our bus.
when it gets there?
Well, they can change them, so yeah.
So anyway, it's an important part of the community. The more I work on things, the more I find transportation is just a huge growing challenge to our valley.
Yes, it is. The further we grow, the more we need to be aware of.
Ridership. And then I think they ordered 3.
Oh, sorry. We can't get real close to you because we're trying to do a podcast and get some information on the bus. So, but you don't have anywhere to sit close to you.
Morning.
To be your bus driver. For you.
No, I wouldn't. No, you wouldn't want me to be
There'd be
either.
all these cars you would have. Jim's.
You know, when I was working with the drivers, that was a big issue because, you know, if you have an accident, you can lose your job.
Yeah. Oh,
Even
yeah.
if it's somebody else's fault.
Yeah. You have to be so cautious, and it's so easy. I mean, I know several women who have been bus drivers for school district, and it just absolutely is such pressure. They don't last but a couple of years, and they
Yeah.
can't handle it anymore. You know, not just because of unruly kids, but because of other problems.
Hi.
And they don't pick up people here.
They pick them up, I think, down there at the truck stop.
Oh,
I have been
If
told,
you pay for the ticket, tell them that you're down at the truck stop by the 70, they'll pick you up.
really? Well, that's interesting. I mean, that has not come up. The regular way to get on the Greyhound from here is to go to Green River, Utah, or Glenwood Springs. And they pick up people there, they have a stop. But there's some big, it's a big standoff between Greyhound and GVT about using spaces and stuff, and they don't come through very often, so it's really hard to staff and they're always late.
Yes, exactly. They can actually stop at the truck stop. And then go in like a get two or whatever, pick up whoever they have to pick up.
That crazy. Yeah, well, we're trying to fix that, but Greyhound's a little challenge to work with.
putting up this new transportation hub on First Street, and just wondering if Greyhound will be using any of that at all. No.
No, I don't think they do. I think what is it, Black Sting does. That Black Sting.
Black Mustang?
Yeah.
Mustang.
Mustang.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, Mustang will definitely be using it, but
Yeah.
I don't know about Greyhound. I mean, there is a spot allotted to, secondary bus companies, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be great if they would. So there's going to be, the pie-shaped piece will be local.
Right.
And then on the side, where the resource center was, will be a cutout for Mustang and Greyhound and all that.
Oh, that's good. That'd be a lot better than having nothing at all.
Yeah, Mustang doesn't have any space now either.
All they do is, I see them down there at the bus stop. They come in 2-3 times, and all it says is going to Denver.
Right, well, you can get to Durango.
Can you?
Yeah, I don't know how they go. I think they go through Telluride over Lizard Head and then over to Durango, and then after that, I'm not sure. I think they just
Yeah, it's
Well, you'll
just
have
a
to ride the
circle.
bus. Find out.
Yeah,
whether-
I'd be happy to. Yeah, I like the bus.
So how did you, since you've been here 6 months, how did you find out about our GVT? I always think RTD because when I've ridden it was in Denver. How do you find out about it and where it goes, and what do you use it for mainly?
I use just to get around.
Just to get
Yeah.
around town?
Yep. I just went over, had an appointment with Peace and Justice,
Uh-huh.
left there, and I'm heading back over to the Greyhound, and I'll take another one, or back over to the bus stop, and I'll take another one up to 2965 North, and that's another place I gotta go.
Right.
So how long does it usually take you to get where you want to go? Is it pretty easy to get around?
Oh yeah, they get around pretty good.
And fairly timely, or do you think it's
Yeah,
a lot of
no,
waiting?
no, they do good. He just passed me. He dropped me off where I was standing when I got on. He dropped me off there. I went around the corner. Spent 35 minutes in there. I'd seen him drive by, and now he is back in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, today it worked out well for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mind. There's a daycare center across that street where I was standing, and the kids were having fun. I was just laughing my butt off.
So I didn't understand, Scott, when you guys were talking about going back to Las Vegas. I don't understand what you were saying about it not working to get to Las Vegas and having to go to Green River. What did that? On what?
So,
What happened to Greyhound?
the Greyhound would stop here when they first opened up down here,
Yeah.
but Greyhound wanted the lobby open, you know, so people could stay warm while they were waiting. 'Cause a lot of times they were late, and they wanted them to sell tickets for Greyhound. So that's extra staff.
Right.
But Greyhound didn't want to pay for any staff.
Greyhound is such tight wads. It's just, they're unreal. I pay was $175 to go from Green River to Beaver.
From Green River to where?
Beaver, Utah.
We still couldn't hear you. Green River to where?
Beaver, Utah.
Beaver,
Oh, Beaver.
Utah.
Yeah.
$175.
$175.
Oh, that's expensive.
Ouch, that's a lot.
Yeah. But when I got off the bus, I turned around and I told the driver, I said, hey, I think you guys are a bunch of assholes. You guys should get off the road. I'm a truck driver. I've been a truck driver for 45 years. I drive 10 times better than they do.
And that used to not be the case. A lot of those guys were career drivers for
Yep.
Greyhound
Yep.
back in the day, but I know they've been bought and sold a couple
Oh
of times.
yeah, they flip the buses over and what have you, you know. Always an accident. Greyhound has more accidents than any other bus company in the country. And that was like in 1 year.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the fee structure for the bus? Do you find that reasonable? Because I know during the summer it's free, but what about during the rest of the year? Because you've been here 6 months, do you find it reasonable for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so far it has been, yeah.
Because what I understand, it's $1.65 to ride one way,
Yeah.
and then $3.65 or $3.60 for the day if you
Yeah,
want a
to
day pass.
get a pass, yeah. It's a little cheaper for me.
Yeah.
Because over 65, then what is it for you?
I need 75.
Oh, okay. When you're over 65, then it's just 75
Yeah, you
cents
drop
one way.
down, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get monthly passes, right? That's the way to go.
Yeah.
But a monthly pass, is it less expensive for a monthly pass for a senior too?
I think it should be, yeah, I think it should, you know, you should have a senior pass that lasts all year long for, no matter how many times you use it, you know. They use it once, you know, it's on them. You know, they're not spending a lot of money. You know, all they're doing is putting $5 worth of gas in the truck. That's all. You know?
So how much of the bus system have you used, and where all can you get to?
I'll tell you what, I was out by the airport earlier this morning. Yeah.
You are a good bus driver.
Yeah. I went all the way out there. I sat out there. I went to the Social Security office. They were closed, as usual. So So us old people, man, they just don't give a crap. But they were closed. So I sat there, and it was about 45 minutes. His trip was about a 45-minute run.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And it was all right. I didn't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. The weather's not too bad.
It was, and it started sprinkling.
And they're trying
Yes!
to.
Sprinkle. Go ahead and rain.
Hey, this morning, it was like 5 o'clock this morning.
Uh-huh.
I was waiting for the bus, and it started raining a little bit. I said, right on. I stepped out going to the the canopy, and it stopped.
Of course. Of course.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking the
Yeah,
rain.
me and Rainey, we liked each other, but not that much. I drove in it a lot of years.
Yeah.
Sliding along.
So how did you get to Grand Junction? What brought you here?
I hate to say that. Twisted.
Oh.
They accused me of stealing a friend of mine's truck.
Oh.
The deal was I bought 2 motors for him. I was using his truck to go back to Utah, pick them up, bring them back. The truck was mine after I did that. Transmission went out on the truck in Green River. I had it towed from Green River to Beaver
Ouch.
at my expense, yeah.
Ouch.
And I never got reimbursed for that. I left the truck up there at Bailey's Auto, and it was a wrecking yard. And I told Joe, you want your truck, man, this is where it's at. He waited 2 years, and then he was driving through Utah and remembered his truck was there, called the police and reported it stolen. So they had me down here. I was down here for a minute. I just had all the charges dropped.
Oh,
Yeah, it was 2 days ago, but I had all the charges dropped because I wasn't guilty. I didn't do it. I'm not a thief. I'm just an old truck driver.
It's amazing how long that takes to get straightened out.
Yeah, it took a minute.
Yeah.
But the judge was pretty cool. He started jumping into the DA's butt. Oh yeah, she was a woman. And he was right all over her because she messed the whole thing up for herself. She got, from what I heard, she got reprimanded by her boss, the district attorney. Yeah, because they thought they had a real good case with me.
Waste of time.
That's all it is. Most of the cases they have, but I spent that time in there, most of the cases they have are BS.
Yep, it's a lot of little stuff.
Yeah.
And they keep adding more.
Yeah, you go in with one thing, and you're sitting there, and then all of a sudden you get a paper with 4 more things on it.
What a system, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
They need to change it. A lot of things need to change, but unless somebody steps up and starts taking a little responsibility.
They grab those law books and they go, well, right here, blah, blah, blah. And
Then
it's like,
you grab a
okay.
law book and do the same thing,
Yeah.
until they can't grab that law book no more.
Yeah.
I know enough about the law.
You
I
could
can't
be
believe it.
you could work in a lawyer's office, huh?
I'll be running a lawyer's office, telling everybody what to do.
Yeah.
I used to do that, but with cows. I'd tell my cows what to do. I hauled cows for a living.
Oh.
I brought hundreds of thousands of cows to this town right here. I don't know where they're at now. I don't see them running around.
Yeah.
So what would it take to get you back to Vegas?
From what I just found out earlier, it's $175 now. Because 4 years ago it was $175 just to go to Beaver. So it's $175 to get me all the way to Vegas.
And you have family there?
Oh yeah, I got my 2 daughters, my granddaughters.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm tired of being here. I mean, I like Grand Junction, believe it or not. If I had to choose a place to live other than Vegas, I'd probably come here. But then I'd have to go down to Vegas every week to gamble. I'm not a real big gambler, but I like to play once in a while.
Well, all the news is that Las Vegas is on the decline right now.
It has
Gotten too expensive.
Vegas. Yeah, it's that the one thing. Everything Vegas now, you can go down there and look at the way Vegas used to be 20 years ago. Nice, booming, and everything. People all had jobs. Now you take you down on one road, past Nellis, all right, and it's tense on that one road, on both sides of the road. People that I knew that had a home, and they got taken basically from the Arabs coming in, buying up all the land, buying up the stores and what have you. So we lost a lot down there.
So where are you headed this morning on this bus line?
Back to the
I'm sorry, just a second.
back to the station.
Okay.
And then I'll get on another bus to take me north.
Take you north to Clifton or?
It's another place I gotta go to.
Oh, no, I
It's
just.
called Fundamental for Life.
Ah.
Yeah. They are the ones that are helping me.
So, how did you find out about all these places?
Looked at my lawyer, slapped her in the face a couple times, said, hey, give me the information I need. I never hit them, but no, I just asked her for, I said, I need something, Olivia. We need to be pointed in the right direction. So they did. She gave me everything that I have right now. I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's been a little hard because I see I'm sunburned all the head, and,
Right.
the heat is
Well,
pretty
that's
bad
because you're
here.
Irish,
Yeah.
so you're
I know.
fair skinned.
Yeah, my mom's redhead.
Oh.
She's really fair skinned. Excuse me.
Yeah, I work with the Center for Independence a little bit.
Yeah.
They do a lot of good work. I mean, it's a huge, finding documents and birth certificates, and
Oh, really?
driver's license. I mean, people lose everything all the time.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you can't get benefits without it.
exactly. But how do you pay for it if you don't have the money?
Yep.
A birth certificate's $25.
What's $25?
$25
For what?
the birth certificate.
Oh.
At least that's what it's costing us to get mine from Maryland.
I think it's kind of the same for every state. It's pretty. I've had to do it. So, but I mean, it's not only that. It's passports. It's driver license.
Well, you can go down to DMV right now. Okay, $15. Put your finger on a little thing. Pulls you up. They can give you a little ID card. So that's what I got to do. They told me about it, and I'm going to see if I can get the cash from up here so that I can get it done. I've got money in my account. I got a Wells Fargo account. I've got 30 grand in there right now. If I had 30, with 30 grand in there, I wouldn't be. I like riding the bus, but I wouldn't be riding the bus. I would have bought a car and jammed home. And I don't mind having another car.
Yeah.
At least it won't be sold by somebody,
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of, people always think it's so easy these days to get a job and do all this other stuff.
It's not.
And it's not, because if you don't have IDs,
It is, it's hard. It really is. Unless you go in and fill out, I've done this before in the past, where I went in different places, filled out an application in every place, and I'd call back every day. Not every week, I'd call back every day until I found out what was going on. And that's the way it should be,
We're in Clifton.
Yep, we are.
So,
Yeah.
are you getting off here?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm
Are
staying
we
on
getting
that
off
road.
here? Oh,
Yeah.
we're getting off. So
Okay.
I need to thank you
Nice
for
to talk to
talking
you.
with
Yeah,
us.
it was nice talking to you.
So So you said you've got real high numbers on this part.
Yes, 9 and 5 are usually the higher number routes.
So how many people do you usually see during the day or on this bus?
I couldn't give you a full number because honestly, I don't keep that kind of track.
Okay.
But I do know that there are some routes where this bus ends up 15 minutes late because of how many people get on and off.
Oh.
Ah,
And personally, I know that the highest number that I've had on the bus at once was 45.
Wow. Impressive. Because we didn't, it doesn't seem like when you see them going by that you see that many people. So that's impressive that you have that many.
It depends on the day. It depends on the hour. There's a lot of factors that go into it. And of course, I'm not the right person to ask about that because I'm actually newer to the bus. I'm only like 70 days in to working for GVT. Some of these other drivers I know have been here far longer than that.
Okay. Ruth, what questions do you have? More questions for Scott?
I don't have, because I asked him a question that I was really curious about why, or if Greyhound is going to be using the new transit station.
Yeah. Well, we hope. We need some more routes. Here's another issue. Another issue is that there's no way to get from here to Moab on a bus.
On a bus?
And there's huge demand.
But
Well, yeah, for that.
How
that
do you
is
get
in
from here to where?
Moab.
Moab.
He was talking about Greyhound, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't go from here to Moab.
Yeah. So like Mustang will bring people over to Junction and then go south, but they won't go any farther west. They won't cross the state line because Mustang is Colorado.
Right.
But there's a huge demand. There's a lot of people that want to go to Moab, mountain bike, hike, and all that stuff on a bus, but they can't get there. So the only option is to hitchhike or take a sunshine taxi or something, which is like
Oh, a sunshine taxi, $400.
$200.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
That is not a good way to get there.
That's the option.
I guess you could ride your bike over there.
You could take the river trail.
Yeah.
It goes all the way to Moab, but you have to be a good biker.
Yeah.
You can't do it in a day.
No, you're going to have to camp.
And there's no and there's no services along the way, so you have to stop to fish and get some.
Pack it in and pack it out.
Yeah.
Teach them how to fish.
Yeah.
That was somebody that was trying to get from here to Moab.
Aha.
So yeah, that's a big demand. Four Corners is a big demand. This Mustang goes to Durango, but there's a lot of Native Americans up here that have to get back to Toyac and Tisnaspas and Shiprock, and there's no way to get over there. The same thing. Sometimes they buy bus passes. I think it's $600 to get to Shiprock, or they buy a sunshine ride for $600.
That's not reasonable. So, with the community services campus, what does that mean up there? You know?
Oh, well, that's human services and health center. So,
That's on 29 road.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
just
29 and a half, actually.
Oh,
and now
community
Marilac's
services.
going to be there, in the workforce center. So
Oh, is that
that's
right?
going to be a real.
Yeah, when is that opening up? Do you know?
Marilac's next month.
Is it?
Yeah.
I knew it was coming soon.
Yep. Yeah.
So, does the city have any funding for Marillac, or is that strictly county? Or is that
It's
strictly?
fed. Yeah, it's
that's
federally qualified health center.
Okay.
So they're block grants, from the health department and HUD. So they're not HUD. They're all block grant stuff. So we'll see if they get. Now a lot of their income is from Medicaid. So
Oh,
if that goes down, people will. Marillac doesn't serve a lot of people that have no insurance because then you're on cash pay. And you don't have cash. So there is some services for indigent people with nothing, but that's not a big part of their services.
So
The
there's
majority is Medicaid.
okay.
So cutbacks in Medicaid in Mesa County will have a big impact on Marillac. I'm sure I talk to those guys periodically, and they're definitely trying to figure out how to keep things funded. The state would, infill on a lot of these things because the state did the Medicaid expansion. We have more Medicaid here than other states, but the state's budget just went to crap too. So now we have to cut $1 billion by the end.
You
for
can cut
this
that
year.
bridge that's going in Denver across to nowhere. That would be a cut.
Didn't
You
they
could
do
make-
that yet? I can't believe that's not going to happen.
Well, you better not. Or I don't want to hear any complaints.
I don't think it was going to be state funded.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Polis thought that was a great idea. I'm going, no, we want something that helps people. A bridge that nobody goes across is no help.
Willis does really well on a lot of things, and some things it seems to be kind of off the
Not necessarily
Rails.
acquainted with real life.
Right. He's not riding the bus with us. He should.
Nor
And,
would he.
Yes.
He should.
Don't you think though I'm amazed at how comfortable it is,
Yeah.
that pull and everything. Very nice.
On hot days, I would be tempted
Yeah. Ride the bus.
just to ride the bus.
Well, ridership took a real hit for COVID. In the whole country. So it still hasn't come back to levels before that.
No.
I think we're at like 80%.
Well, see, I think why more people don't ride the bus is you just don't know where it goes, and
Right.
you're afraid to try it the first time because you think, I don't like to try things, I don't know how it works.
Right.
And that's why it's good you're riding with us, because now I would be more comfortable.
Yep.
And I would know how long it takes,
Yep.
because I'd be nervous the whole time, even though I'm not worried about being late most of the time. I'd be worried that, oh no, I can't make it in time. I don't know where they're going. I don't know when they're stopping.
Other activities put a hole in doing this, huh?
Yeah.
Some other, they try to make the customer experience better all the time, and like we were talking about, that other guy had to wait 45 minutes out by the airport. So a lot of the bus stops don't have protective coverings, for heat, and so they're trying to upgrade a lot of the bus stops, with the more comfortable.
So-
And me working on homeless stuff, well, here's two right here. So Homeward Bound is right up here, and they
Right.
carry all their goods, their life.
You can't bring
with
that
them.
on the bus.
And they can't bring it on the bus or cats. So some communities have done little parking spots for people to put their carts in by the bus stops. So, but they're not secure.
Right.
It's just so yeah, it's a real issue. You want to get people out of homelessness. They got to get to their appointments. Like this guy is going to get his new ID and all that stuff. And you got to have a safe place to leave your belongings, or they disappear.
Right.
Then you have to start all over again.
Yeah.
It's an ugly cycle.
Thank you for
But we are making progress, slowly but surely.
Well, I know that with the Resource Center, one of the things that Bill was talking about was having lockers, for people. Why doesn't he have lockers out where he is? Or lockers at
Well, when he talks
the
about
day
lockers,
centers?
he's talking about these storage units. They have lockers in them. And then
Oh, they do.
yeah, we had 3 of them, I think, at the Resource Center, big ones, with lockers in. But then,
Give me a heads up on Homeward Bound.
Yeah.
Homeward Bound is on the return.
If you're working, okay, you have a job, and you leave here at 5 in the morning, come back 7, 8 at night, and you put stuff in the locker, as soon as you get enough valuable stuff in the locker, staff is gonna throw you out after the buses stop running. You're gonna sleep behind the dump stop. And when you go back to get your stuff, the staff will have clipped your lock and take you all your stuff and you'll be asked to leave because they will call the cops because you're upset about the back. You'll give it no trespassing. You go to the board meeting and the director will say, well, that should have never happened. You're more than welcome to come back. And you go back
You're
and
stuck,
they
Scott.
do the same thing. That's overboard.
Yeah, well, I work with them a lot, so
Yeah, well,
it's
you know
not.
what, dude? You need to correct their ways.
I know your concerns. I mean, it's just not the first time I've heard this. You know.
And just so you know, he does really listen. He's one of your city council
Well, then
people.
he needs to address the
Yeah.
staff and replace them.
Yeah. Well, that was a big issue with the police and everybody else. You know, throwing everything away.
Oh,
on
they
people.
love calling the cops when they're on the road.
Yeah.
And even the cops will say you should have called us.
Yeah, it's ugly something.
The 4th Street? I don't. You're looking for the 5. If there is a bus behind me, then that would be the tag.
So they got some funding for a new route here, like she said.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be from, I don't think it's from Clifton. I think it's from right where north goes on to I-70B, all the way out to the mall. And they're just going to do constant back and forth.
I think that's probably a good idea because this is where a lot of your people
People are
stay.
gonna-
A lot of resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. So high demand. So that'll increase the number of rides available a lot. And that should help take the pressure off some of these other routes.
23rd Street.
So
South of North Avenue.
that starts in October, and they just got some money. Oh, they got some money from the petroleum industry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
How was that?
It was a trade-off. How did that work? I can't remember exactly. Anyway, Mesa County's the GVT was going to get $1 million a year out of the funding, and that will start in 27. So this grant goes 26, 27, and then the other funding will take over. I mean, that's a big part of the problem. It costs about $500,000 to $1 million to put a route, you know, for a year.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you, when you say to put a route on, that's all the cost maintenance of the buses and paying for the people
Bus
that are driving?
drivers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got it down, believe me. So now the buses, buying the buses is a separate thing, and the feds give so much money, and it's an 80-20 match. Sometimes they pay the full amount. When this whole thing started, Kathy Hall kind of got this started, and they were running on buses that other places were thrown away.
Oh, really? So Kathy Hall, I saw GVT started in 2000, but we had a bus system before that went around the city, right?
No.
Nothing before 2000?
Oh, yeah. we
Because
did.
I used to threaten my kids if they could ride the bus if
Ride
they
the
really
bus.
wanted to get somewhere.
You are a mean mom. Ouch.
Well, I was working. They need to get somewhere. You can't just
Busy.
drop
Yeah.
work, and they acted like that would be a fate worse than death. That would be worse than me taking.
We have to make bus riding cool again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, growing up in a small town in Wisconsin, we would have been super happy to have this option
Right.
because we didn't have anything, you know?
Well, when
And we still don't.
Yeah.
It was just fun.
when I was in Denver doing my working at the Capitol, I rode the RTD all the time because you couldn't afford to park, and you didn't want to, and you don't want me parking as we discussed previously. So it was a good deal, and it went all over, but it was more of an urban area, so it was easier to get a bus, and bus stops were closer. What do you think about how many bus stops they have? Is it adequate, do you think?
I rarely hear a problem about that. It's all about frequency.
Okay.
So, you know, the guy said 45 minutes. It's somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour on a cycle. So, you know, if you can cut that in half, that really helps a lot for people's, getting to appointments and switching buses and all that stuff. So, it's all about frequency here as far as what their goals are. They have found, and this is kind of recent, that the demand is much more for frequency than additional routes.
Huh.
So,
Well, I can kind of understand that because if you make appointments, you need to be there on time or they charge you. So,
yeah.
And
I have to reschedule
taking-
4 months down the road.
yeah. And taking the fact that sometimes these buses are delayed 10, 15 minutes makes it really difficult.
Yeah. Well, there's an issue. A lot more people have handicaps and disabilities these days. And so, getting them around is really a challenge. You can get Medicaid rides, on a lot of different services for health, but not for shopping and other stuff.
Right. Well, and people do need to be able to shop. People do need to be able to shop. I know I have a friend who said it's just really hard for her. She's a widow in 86, and it's too costly. She lives out in the Redlands in her home because she can't afford to go into assisted living. So unless she has a friend that'll take her to the grocery store, it's a problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cobbling up all these things to get places is, we're lucky. Can you imagine living in Meeker or Hotchkiss? How would you get around?
Right.
That's one.
Well, I know, but if
Yeah.
you can't walk, you
Yeah,
have
that
a
is
disability.
You have to depend on family or friends.
Friends, yeah.
And that's hard.
It is. Because you feel like you're using.
Yep, so, lots of transportation. There's a lot of moving parts. They're all governed by federal stuff. So you can do certain things on some, and you can't do certain things on others. And then the road thing, every time they're trying to do a little cutout, so there's a safer bus stop and stuff like that. You have to go through all that. Those are a lot of those are ADA money. So you have to take your turn. Have a long list of places you want to upgrade, and we're going to get a new. They're going to redo the highway from First to the Redlands roundabout next year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and,
That's
I
a
said,
state thing, right?
what's that?
That's a state thing.
Yeah, state highway. So they're going to redo that. And I was asking, is there any money for, improving the side? I mean, there's no sidewalks in
No,
some
there's no
of
money.
it.
No money.
And there isn't any money. You can't use it for. Everything's got strings. So
Oh, yeah.
it's just really frustrating for people. And I don't blame them.
Thank you.
All that. So I'm not sure where this exactly goes.
I don't know either, but I know that you have to a block before the stop, but I don't know. You have to say you want off.
Here's your little brochure. All right.
It's in my purse.
Let me put this down here. I can get my phone out. Which one are we on?
Where do you see that?
I didn't. What?
He's saying what bus are we on?
Oh,
Stop
it's on the front of the bus.
requested. That's pretty cool.
What?
Stop requested.
Yeah, so push the button.
Randolph, east of 5th Street, Central Library.
Do you want to get off at the library?
Are we on 5?
Where does this bus end? This route?
You as well. If we're talking technically, we go to the downtown transfer.
Oh, okay, perfect. Make it all
Downtown
fancy.
Transfer Facility,
Either.
6th Street.
No, I don't know if you heard me. I was going crazy about that. I said, a natural park to me is a lot more appealing than a Wally World.
Yeah.
And
Anyway, we finished our Grand Valley Transit route riding with Scott Beilfuss. What did you think, Lisa, when all was said and done?
Well, I thought it was interesting. I thought the buses were extremely comfortable and the air conditioning was really nice. The people were, it was full, which was one thing. I didn't think that there would be full ridership on the buses, because when I drive by, it doesn't ever look like anybody's on the bus. And I don't know if that was because during the summer through the rest of the August, it's a federal funded free rides. During the summer, it's free, and so the bus was full when we were coming back from Clifton. Mm-hmm. It wasn't as full, but it was still had lots of ridership. The people were friendly, and they were willing to talk to us, and that was kind of surprising too.
It was surprising to me too. Everybody was very friendly. There were a few that didn't say anything, just sat in their corner, which is to be expected. But there were some that were very, very talkative and very, very interesting to listen to. And I think Scott got an education as well as we.
Yes. And how did you think Scott got an education?
I think he heard things that he had not heard before, pertaining to bus routes and pertaining to the ridership and pertaining to places where the buses travel. I think it was kind of an eye-opener for him.
Mm. Well, and we did see, I would say, several homeless people, both at the transit stations and on the buses, but all of them, they were more than nice. I didn't feel unsafe when we were riding. I questioned a lot of, and I don't know how you get around it, but a lot of the cost for transporting people, because from what I've read, even though we have that natural compressed gas that fuels them, it's probably more expensive to make than regular gasoline. Mm-hmm. I think if you've got full ridership, but Scott said we spend approximately $4 million, didn't he say?
He did.
A year on this, and that Grand Junction picks up about 40% of that, but it's designed to serve the urban area of Grand Junction, and a little bit in Fruita, a little bit in Palisade. Mesa County puts in, but we put in about 40% of that budget, and he said it's 80-20, basically federal and then local.
Grant funds. You consider the cost it takes to keep those buses on the road with tires and oil and gas and even cleaning and drivers and all of that kind of stuff. It's really expensive transportation.
So it's very subsidized. I'm
Yes.
not the prices. We asked people, did they think the prices were fair and reasonable for them to use, and everybody seemed to think that. It was $1.65, I think, if you rode one way to one, that only got you to one place. And if you got a day pass, they said that was probably cheaper because it's $3.65 a day.
For as long as you want to ride it, and as far as you want to ride it.
And unless you're a senior citizen, and then there were better deals.
Now, there was a little discount. I wasn't sure what exactly that was, but nonetheless, it was interesting. And then, of course, right now, until the end of August, it is free to ride the bus. So that makes quite a bit of difference. There's no income coming in, but a lot going out.
Right. And I thought, I asked people if they thought that the bus took them where they want, and they said yes. There were a sufficient number of bus stops, they felt like. Mm-hmm.
And sufficient a number of routes. Actually, I think the only one that they're really missing, a couple of them they're really missing, they need an extra run to Fruita. They need an extra run, definitely runs out on Redlands, because there was nothing out here in the Redlands.
And they said if you don't have a route to the Redlands, then you don't have the paratransit either, which was probably more needed than some of the others.
Agreed.
But they said there was no ridership out on the Redlands either, but I don't know how long ago they tried that.
It's been a few years, if I remember correctly. They haven't explored the idea of going any further with it, and I think it maybe needs to be relooked at again.
So, Ruth, overall, what did you think about us even having Grand Valley Transit available? And at the cost and at the ridership, and what do you think?
That's hard for me because I'm a penny pincher. Mm-hmm. I think that if it weren't for government subsidies, we could not do this. So depending on the government is something that I am not necessarily the biggest fan of. So, but I think it's nice in many respects. I think the biggest portion of those people who use the transit, however, are homeless population. I don't think that necessarily it's somebody like myself who say in a few years I can't drive anymore. I'm not sure I would use that form of transportation.
And that you could get to the bus stops to
Right.
use that form of transportation.
Exactly. So I do believe it's the homeless population that uses it the most.
And so is that a good resource? Is that a good use of funds, do you think? And especially since we built really nice transfer stations. There's two. There's one down on South 6th, and then there's one out by the mall. Very nice transfer.
Clifton's nice too. Yeah.
Clifton's was nice and big. You know, Scott was concerned that all of the stops didn't have some sort of protective cover for people that were waiting. I don't know that. I think if you're waiting for the bus, you're waiting for the bus.
You're waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it's slow, like they said. Sometimes they have to wait 10, 15 minutes for the bus to make its rounds because, for whatever reason, they're delayed. They do have breakdowns too, believe it or not. But, yeah.
So you keeping it or not?
I think paratransit is much more needed than the actual bus system, if you want to be honest about it.
Okay. Well, and I think everybody should, make their own judgments. I know that they have a bus system that they have for the middle school to high school, and what I looked at on their website was they said that was free for kids, and what I couldn't understand is it free for them just to go to school, or was it free for them to go anywhere that the bus goes?
And I don't
Scott
think
wasn't sure.
They didn't make that clear.
No.
And it's nice for the kids, I do have to agree. But we do have school buses also that hit almost everywhere. Well, in fact, they do hit everywhere.
Well,
it's just the choice that the child makes.
I
parents.
think what Scott was saying, though, that made it different was that it had to be, now the bus didn't come pick you up unless it was within 3 miles.
Right.
Outside of 3 miles from your house. So they were expecting if it's within 3 miles that you would walk, I guess, or ride a bike or whatever.
Exactly.
So I don't know if 3 miles is reasonable either, that the buses should come pick it up sooner, but I always used to threaten my kids, if you guys don't want to wait for me to, or get somebody else, you can ride the bus.
Ride the bus.
And that was a no-go. So I would be curious to see how well used that is, and if
Right.
it is free. But when we went into the station too, into the transfer station, that was not, I didn't think it was really user-friendly.
No,
They had like
not at all.
bulletproof glass in front, no brochures. We've got a brochure on the bus, but
Yeah, they didn't have any information whatsoever. And the people who were in the office never even looked up. They didn't recognize the fact that we were there. So, we'd had to pound on the glass in order to get somebody's attention to help us if we needed it.
so I thought it was a great experience. I think other people should know and should decide for themselves if they think that this is a good use of money.
And get out and ride it yourself. It is an
Yeah.
experience. You only have to do it once and you formulate an opinion one way or the other. So give us a try. Give it a try.
Yeah, yep. See what we're spending our money on. Well, you've been watching Mesa County Compass. This is the facts as we see them, the truth as we know it. You decide. Thanks.
Thank you.